Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Honorable Madam Mehrin Mia Kasimji as the first speaker, the Honorable Madam Dr. Tania Simons as the second speaker, the Honorable all of Committees Institute Global Professionals, and my beloved brothers and sisters. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone, and good evening, Indonesia. Welcome to our Institute Global Professionals free webinar. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining with us in this wonderful evening and stay with us till the end. First of all, let us pray and praise to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala because of His blessing and mercy we can join together, and let us greet and pray to our beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam who had brought us to the path of light. I am Windy Puspitasari Suparto from Graduate Program State University of Makassar, South Sulawesi, Indonesia, as the host webinar today and member of Institute Global Professionals. Ladies and gentlemen, as we know that IGPs or Institute Global Professionals is an educational institutions program to provide social work. We believe that Institute of Global Professionals serves students and community research, providing holistic social work and educations for creative proficient generations. Well, we provide effective training and consultations to generate proficiency. We expect that you all getting a little bit benefit in a personal and professional life. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I always remind you guys, don't forget to share, comment, text, and support this page because your attachment encourage us to do best, better, and best service to our lovely audience. Well, today we are presenting the webinar 149 entitled Leading Change Through Uncertainty with two speakers tonight, namely Madam Mehrin Mia Kasimji from South Africa and Madam Dr. Tania Simons from United States. Well, let's start our program with IGPs Fit Your Skill. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first speaker here is Madam Mehrin Mia Kasimji from South Africa. She is Ambassador, United Nations Goodwill Ambassador in Humanitarianism. The SA Ambassador, Ladies of All Nation International, SA National Director, International Layout Society, being awarded one of the top 100 successful women in business globally. Wow. And then a wow award entering the Hall of Fame for Women Leaders 2021. Top 30 most amazing women in leadership change. She studied various fields in law, financial, forensics, as well as development psychology, is an international life coach and empowerment motivational public speaker, woman and child facilitator, NLP and CBT practitioner. She is the CEO and founder of the MEA company and co-founding director of NGO Helping Hands Social Society. Wow, amazing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today we invite Madam Mehrin Mia Kazemji from South Africa as the first speaker. Please give a warm welcome to Madam Mia Kazemji. Hello, Madam.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm well. I can greet you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Well, Madam, time is your presentations tonight. Uh, Good luck.
Thank you very much. And firstly, let me greet everybody in the universal greeting of peace and blessings to everyone. I'm truly honored to be here, and I say a huge thank you to the Institute of Global Professionals for this amazing opportunity. It's an honor truly to grace your platform. And I'd love to say a huge thank you as well to Professor Caroline Makaka. Thank you for being you, and thank you for being such an inspiration to all of us. It's really, really amazing that we have this many speakers that come onto this platform that can help us and grow each other as we grow people around us. So this is what this is all about. Professionalism is about trying to teach others. So thank you very much. Today's topic is actually very rife. It's very important. It's something that needs to be discussed. It needs to be questioned. It needs to be analyzed. And that is leading change through uncertainty. But I'm going to take this from a different angle because one of my things that I really like to do is to break things down. I like to unpack them, to re-understand them, to make them make more sense so that we can make changes if we need to, and then we take that to develop it further. So I'm going to break down this a little bit more, this leading change through uncertainty. And that for me means breaking it down word per word, because you'll see as I go through today, I'm trying to show and envelop you in developing my understanding in what each of these concepts mean, because pulling it all together in terms of what they mean collectively is what makes for good leadership through uncertainty. So if I take this word of uncertainty, for example, the literal meaning of uncertainty would obviously mean that there's some kind of a doubt, that there is skepticism of some sort, that there's this area of suspicion, there's an area of mistrust in something. There's merely, when you say I'm uncertain about something, you're actually saying there's a lack of being sure about someone or about something. But I want us to look at this a little bit extra. When we're talking about uncertainty, there's also two different scales, sense of a scale. On the one hand, uncertainty is small, and it merely is something that can fill the gap for you to become certain about something. And on the other end of the scale, uncertainty can actually mean a complete lack of conviction about what your specific outcome needs to be. So you have no idea. So, right now, as I talk to you, understand and ask yourself perhaps, what do you understand by this concept of uncertainty? What does it mean for you, and what does it actually create for you out there? Now, the one thing that we do need to understand, and that is this leading. We said in our topic of today, we're saying leading change, leading, stemming from lead, and then obviously leading into what the word of leadership is all about. Understand this process. It is a process. Leadership and leading something is a process in itself. So, leadership in times of an uncertainty, what does that mean for you right now? What makes you a leader that can actually get good leadership skills to get through and lead people through adverse situations? Remember, what's most important, and I'll get to more on this later, is how to actually learn to manage your leadership skills, develop more in your role as that leader that you have to be, to create the positive sense of change that brings about more certainty than uncertainty when circumstances hit. Now we move on to the concept of change. We said leading change through uncertainty. So let's look at this concept of change. And I ask you right now, what do you think change means? It could mean a sense of alteration, a different circumstance that's coming up. Change is literally a movement from one to another. And we all know it's human nature that we love comfort. We love to be in a comfort zone. We don't necessarily like the sense of alteration too much. We don't like the sense of uncertainty to bring about change because we don't know what change needs to come out if we have uncertainty hit us. So remember, if there's something that has to be changing, it's kind of going against your norm. So look at it in your situation as you are listening to me right now. What is it that you think needs to change about you for a positive version of you? What is it that you think needs to change about your circumstance, your community, your society, your nation? What exactly would change mean for you if it has to be positive in an outcome? So remember, change can be vast. Change can be about change in economy. Change can be change in actual who you are, your being, your dress code, everything about you. Changes is vast. But you have to understand, how does it actually affect you within you? So now that we've broken it down and unpacked what this topic is about, leading change through uncertainty is actually all about just that, getting in touch with what is it that is uncertain, what change is required for us to build, and how can we actually be leaders and lead that entire change process so we can become more certain of proper developments for profitability and productivity and positiveness in our journey. That's what we're discussing. That's what I'd like to propose today. So when we have to look at this leadership concept, and I take this from my own experiences. I take it from how I've developed myself into being who I am today in the leadership role. And here I'd like to also say thank you to Lonely SA, because part of being Lonely SA is to grow in who we are and as the sisterhood. So being part of that leadership, you grow yourself. And in my growth, in my being a leader, as I've been over the many years, my own experiences that I've engaged in, I've developed a fourfold mechanism of how I think leadership needs to unfold. So, in this sense, there's actually four words: it's to inform, it's to connect, it's to guide, and it's to unite. And I'll say it again: it's to inform, it's to connect, it's to guide, and it's to unite. And if I ask you right now, if you are a woman right now listening to me, and I'm not excluding men deliberately, but I'm focusing right now on a woman because I want to ask this question. If you are a woman right now and you're listening to me, do you realize that in every single day of your life, you are actually taking on leadership roles throughout the day? So you are actually a leader in your own right within your own home. Even if you are unemployed, even if don't have a certificate, right now, you as a woman running your home, making decisions about your children, making decisions about yourself, maintaining your home, all of these aspects is you being a leader. And now I take that to our brothers and I say to you, you actually taking care of what you had to take care of, being the role model that you have to be for you, your home, your unit, your family. This is you taking a leadership role in itself. So ask yourself right now, you are a leader, are you not? In your everyday capacity, you are dealing with uncertainty. Things happen, things change. People people change. Things happen within your life which alters your mindset. And you, as the role that you are playing, whether you are mom, sister, teacher, professional, businesswoman, whatever your role is, you are actually encompassing leadership through that change that is happening in your environment. So you have to take decisions. And when you are taking those decisions based on the differences and the uncertainty that you are facing on a daily basis, you are actually doing the 4 points. You inform yourself, you connect with others and then reconnect with yourself. You guide others to make things happen for them, which makes it easier for you. And then of course you unite everyone. Do we not do this on a daily basis? So remember that when we have to talk about leadership, when you have to talk about you as the leader, you already are the leader. You already are somebody who is looking into being this leader in every role that you play on a daily basis. So don't undermine your role as who you are on a daily basis. Every single person, as part of our humanity, is some kind of a leader in their own right. You take on a decision when you decide what to wear for the day. You don't know what's going to hit you for the day. And we know climate change nowadays, sometimes even the seasons change throughout the day. We have like a 4 season day sometimes. You dress up with one thing and end up having to wear something else. These are different changes. This is minute as an example that related to you as the person you are right now. And make sure you understand these concepts so that you can understand the following that has to come in terms of this actual topic of leading change through uncertainty. We need to remember something that's rife, something that's important, and something I think we have all learned, especially since COVID-19 has hit the world. And that is that change is constant. Change is inevitable. Change is always going to come. And remember the concept of change. I've spoken of what it means, but understand that it's not the actual change itself that actually creates this fear. What's problematic when it comes to change and conforming to change is the actual adjustment that we have to make to the changes that are necessary. Because remember, that takes us out of that comfort zone that we're all in. And we have to understand then, what exactly is this? What changes are needing to be made? How am I going to get through this? How do I change things as a leader for my people? And the one thing we have to comprehend is that with every change, with every alteration, with every bit of adjustment that is needed with your people, with people around you, with yourself in your leading role, there has to be emotional and psychological changes as well. So don't become the leader that ignores that there's emotional and psychological experiences happening with the people that you are leading, because that happens as soon as change has to hit. Emotional issues start to become rife as soon as uncertainty hits. As soon as there's an issue regarding a change and there's uncertainty mixed up and there's this fear of an unknown, then there become psychological issues, questions about self, questions about life, and then we have to lead by example as to how to cope. And that coping mechanism is where we come from as the leaders who we need to be. So a couple of pointers I'd like to point out now in terms of what can we do as leaders. And I'm pulling this through in terms of, again, my own experiences, the things that I've learned in my time, and how I managed to get through to learn certain things and certain skills. One of the things that I've learned, and I would say this outwardly to anybody, that you need to acknowledge that as much as you are a leader, you are still a human being. And so that means you have humaneness within you. We need to acknowledge this. We need to acknowledge that you are a leader, but you are also human. So you will also have emotional and psychological issues that come up when uncertainty hits you and the people that you take care of. And as such, that builds up in fears, that builds up an anxiety. And of course, being the leader, it's kind of a compounded sense of anxiety. But the key to you remaining humble and addressing it is for you to rather embrace this. Embrace this in your leadership role. Embrace that this is affecting firstly me. And as it's affecting me, it's affecting my people. Go back into you being the human. Remember, people sometimes have this outlook that if you're a leader, you're this super person. You don't have the feelings attached to you. You don't have the emotions attached to you. But you and I both know that as a leader, actually, it affects you even more because there are people that rely on you. There's that circumstance of what happens to them if I don't make the right decision, and that weighs on you quite heavily. But the key to everything for me was always that I need to understand me. I need to understand this is the difference. This is the uncertainty we're facing. These are the changes that are needed, but how is it affecting me personally? And then I need to get with it and understand. I need to embrace the fears I also am feeling as a leader. I need to embrace the anxieties that I'm building up. I need to get some form of understanding of, as a leader, how can I learn to cope? Because my coping skills and my coping mechanisms are what is needed to actually help and motivate the people I am leading, because I am looked at to now navigate the process for them. They're looking at me. So we need to understand, as leaders of humanity, not just who we are in our spaces, we need to understand that we are also humans and give ourselves the credit first for being the human being that's given the role of being the leader. The second thing I want to talk about in terms of factors of what builds you up is as a leader, you sometimes do hit the point of um, you get stuck. I'm stuck as the leader. Or you hit this mind frame of, gosh, I don't even have enough knowledge to know what to do now, and I need to make a choice. Things like that all start to happen. Yet again, I say to you, embrace this. Embrace it and again learn how to reframe it. You are not ill equipped. You are equipped. You just need to look for further equipped ways and means of trying to go through this. And once you start to embrace and unpack what you're going through, you would find actual solutions come up from those around you, which leads me into the next point. And that is, as much as we lead people, as much as I lead others, as much as all leaders lead other people, we have to understand that we have to lead ourselves first. Lead you as the leader and learn more about you in each role that you encompass, in each piece of uncertainty that you're facing to make decisions, to make different protocol changes, process changes, development changes, everything. You have to see adversity as a leader is actually your opportunity. Adversity for a leader is an opportunity to grow first you as the leader. Grow yourself to understand you better in that space of adversity. And once you learn that, you are able to then pull up new strategies, new developmental goals, and that is what you can grow through to your people to say, let me help you to self grow because I know it will work for me too. And this is how we need to learn one concept. And I say this openly, and I know I can get shut down for it by some people, but you as a leader are not a leader if you think you are Mr. or Miss Know It All. Leaders for me are people who are learn it alls. So it's not about you knowing everything. No one in any leadership role ever knows everything. You always want to learn more. And the more you learn, the more you equip yourself to better understand things that will happen, might happen, can happen. So remember, there's that philosophy of you rather learn it all than know it all. And that's key. So, as somebody who was once a perfectionist, I can tell you perfectionism is another falter. Because if you have one uncertainty hit you in your leadership role, and then you have the next one and the next one, if you are somebody focusing so much on perfectionism, you're actually compounding your anxieties for each uncertainty that hits you. And as a leader, you're going to have more than one uncertainty hit you for change at a specific time. If we have to look at everything that's happened around us in the past year and a half, if we had to sit back and say, well, wait, we need to first put this on and put that on, we wouldn't have managed to get through that much. Perfectionism is going to be a useless exercise of energy. We have got to rather focus on an expectation that we are trying. This is uncertain times, there's change that's required. I'm doing my best. Let me give the best that I can because I've now obtained the knowledge that I need to obtain. And here's what I'm going to do my best. And I'm going to expect that, yes, there may be a mistake or two. I'm human. I'm your leader, but I'm human. So I might make the mistake or two, but I then will be able to pick up from there, adjust, and make it better for myself and for all of you around me. So remember that like I said before, adversity, uncertainty is all an opportunity for us to better develop our strategies, better develop our processes, better develop who we are as leaders. And we need to recognize our fullest potential. Our fullest potentials as leaders is what we need to actually get to being. So, one of the key factors for me in terms of being that important leader, that leader for the people, that leader who engages, is just that. As a leader, you engage, you collaborate, you speak to others. As a leader, you don't have to sit there and go everything alone. You can actually network, and it is your network that builds. But the one key factor we need to remember as good leaders is that leadership is not about you dictating. Leadership is about you embracing, collaborating, talking, networking. You can enhance your own knowledge while you have to learn about others. Remember, we not know it all as leaders. We learn it all as leaders. So we delegate. We ask people that are expertise in their own different fields, help me to understand this better because I need to make a decision for people that I'm leading. And this is why it makes for better networking. So remember, you don't have to go it alone. Everything that you have to do as a leader is about you developing yourself in your leadership role so that you become a better leader for those that you have to lead. The one important factor is what I said earlier, and I said I'm going to discuss this, is when you are a leader, you have got to learn to manage your leadership. So, leadership and management, two different concepts. If you have to look at a corporate environment, leadership does not necessarily mean you manage well, and management does not mean that you are a good leader. But we need to make sure that we kind of try to marry the both so that it becomes so well ingrained that it works together. And you, as a good leader, have got to learn how to manage your own leadership. And here I want to pause to read a quotation from Darwin, because I think it is so apt to describe this. He says, and I quote, "It is not the most intellectual of species that survives. It is not the strongest of species that survives, but the one that is able to adapt, the one that is able to adjust best to change environment, that is who survives." That's what I'm trying to tell us all here today, to spread the word, to learn that if you want to be that survivor in the face of adversity, if you want to be the leader that gets people to, and changes stuff through uncertainty, then we have got to be the ones that really develop ourselves and develop our people so that we can adapt best to the adjustments that are needed when change hits us. So we need to remember that every new opportunity that comes to us is actually opening us up for greater adjustment to the balance that has to come. And we as leaders embrace that. We as leaders want to grow more. We want to learn more. We want to develop more because our people and who we lead are our goal. We want to see the best for them. We want to learn the best about ourselves to give them the best for themselves. So one of the key factors I know I found throughout last year, and I remembered this through something that was developed here in South Africa, and I saw this for myself, is communication. This key aspect of communication leads for best leadership for me, and in my opinion. And I'll use a rapid example here. If you are a leader and you suddenly want to say to your people that as of tomorrow, I need everybody to just wear masks and you have to go and you need social distance and you need to do A, B, and C. So you go out on national television, for example, and this is what you tell everybody that's going to happen. Remember, they don't know why, they don't know how, they don't know anything. Some people live in remote areas that don't even have access to a television or haven't heard you. But you've put on penalties, for example, that you need to have the mask on or else you're not going to be able to, you're going to be fined, for example. But here's the question that comes up. As a leader, how have you managed to get that message across to the people who don't have the access to a television? How have you managed to get people to understand what is it that you're talking about when you say social distancing? What is your campaign that you're putting together to make sure people are understanding you better? So I'm really leaving that with you as an example. Key administrative issues when it comes to being a good leader. Number one is your increased communication level with the people you lead. And when you are communicating with them, allow them to see that you too are feeling what they feel because you need them to resonate with you. For me, if you want to ask me, Maureen, you have your own company, show us your organogram. You will never see an organogram that goes that way. You'll never find a me at the top and everybody else at the bottom. I don't do that. I do the flat way because we work as one. So when you are a leader, in my opinion, this is what I do. Everybody's different. But my take is that I want people to know that I feel and I'm with them as opposed to I'm above them. So if I'm feeling insecure about something, I'd like for somebody to know that. I'd like for somebody to know that this is something that is uncertain for me as well. I am learning about it and I want to engage with you and I'm going to come up often and give you stuff that I too am learning about it. And together we will get through this. And that way, my people that I'm trying to lead resonate with me. They resonate with what I'm trying to teach them, what I'm trying to show them. So yes, as a leader, we are taught you're a leader. You have to be authoritative. Yes, I need to be and show my authority as a leader with conviction, with confidence. But I also need to be the leader that is for people, that is for those around me, people that would love and wait to hear from me and really resonate with what I say, who trust in me. So even if there is this concept of mistrust because there's uncertainty, even if there's changes that are needed, They know that this is my leader who actually feels and is with us, and she will do what is best for us. And we salute that. We will appreciate that. We would follow that. Remember, leadership is not about arrogance. Again, it's not about you knowing everything. Leadership is about you being one of those that put you into leadership roles. If you are self-leading, well done. If people put you into leadership roles, please give cognizance to those that put you there because they look up to you. Us as leaders, we need to understand that we are there for the people first. And as such, when we learn more about ourselves, when uncertainty hits us, when we learn more on how to develop ourselves even better, it is up to us as leaders then to make sure that we also motivate and empower our people to become the better versions of them, to learn, to want to educate themselves even more, to love to learn. Learning is your concept, education is your key. I am learning more and I'm teaching you that I want you to learn more. As I develop myself in my leadership role, I want you to develop yourself as well, to eventually self sustain, to make clear decisions for yourself as well, not to only rely on me to make decisions for you. You need to be able to give and take like that. Us as leaders, we have got to motivate and inspire our people to become the best versions of who they can be. Teach them to self sustain. Teach them to be the best for themselves. Teach our children that they have the best of potentials in them and let them want to be the best leaders for themselves in their communities. I always say that when we have to empower people, it's not about giving people power. I was asked this in quite a few interviews, what does empowerment mean for you? Because I do the empowerment stuff. And I always say empowerment for me is not about giving you power over somebody else. It's not about you becoming dictatorial with other people. It's not about you having to be able to bully people and tell people what A, B, and C. No, empowerment is about your self growth. Empowerment is your self development. It is your awareness of yourself and finding within you what is it that you need to change about you to make significant differences that you would see positively in your journey of your life. The same applies to when you want to be an empowered leader. When uncertainty hits you and changes have to come, you have got to be able to motivate and inspire and help your people and whoever you are leading advance themselves to a point of where they actually have trust in themselves as well as trust in you. So remember, when we have to talk about management and powerful and being empowered, this is not just about the people. This is about you as the leader. Lead you first. Envelop you in your leadership role first and grow yourself to the best of you. Because remember, I'm a leader. You are a leader. Every one of us is a leader. We're all prone to be human, to make a mistake here and there. None of us are perfect. But it is embracing this uncertainty and the changes and what goes with it emotionally and psychologically. Embracing that is what makes for us to become better leaders, to develop more better strategies that work for our people, those that we have to lead. So remember, people, when I'm speaking to you right now, I'm speaking to you, yes, as a leader, as a women leader, as a mother, as a daughter, as a wife, but I'm speaking to you as another human being who's reaching out and saying, we want leaders, we need leaders, we need our women leaders. Women leaders, for example, sometimes are given a back seat, and I ask why? Why? Women leaders right now would be absolutely awesome to have. You know why? Because it is that actual aspect that pushes us aside. We always get told, well, people were told this before, that if you are a women leader, then you will, you're going to be too emotional about stuff. So we don't need that at the table. But let me tell you, it is actually that emotion, that humaneness in somebody that grows into your leadership because you automatically use that maternal instinct to want to grow others around you. That's what leadership is about. That's what grows us as women. That is why we build the sisterhoods that we build around the world, because we want to rise by lifting other people. So leadership, yes, very important. Understanding the concepts of the leadership through uncertainty, important. Understanding the change that happens when uncertainty hits you, important. But understanding you as the leader when all of these things have to come together, that is crucial. When you are able to tally and unpack the way I've just unpacked for you, whenever adversity hits you, whenever uncertainty hits you, you'll be able to actually transgress what's negative about the whole thing into something becoming more positive. So these are my little bits of key factors that I wanted to point out to everybody and I wanted to share with you because the one thing I can tell you, and I've been doing humanitarian work since a little girl, I've developed this empowerment about myself in the past couple of years. A lot of things have to grow within you. Your journey, your life's experiences, whatever it is that happens with you as a person is what actually develops you to become better tomorrow. So when you want to look at yourself in the leading role that you play, when uncertainty hits you and it requires the change that is necessary for a positive outcome, look within you first. Look within you first and identify, is there a gap? And what is the gap? What do I need to fill it in order to make a clarified positive decision, to make the positive change that's needed for good for everybody? We always say empowering you will be empowering others. So you need to focus on you first. The same applies to you leading change through uncertainty. You have to start first with you as that leader who tries to make the change. Remember, and I always say this in terms of women empowerment, it starts with just one. When you want to make the differences and you want to empower and you want to grow, you make the difference with one. If I can empower and grow one woman, for example, in her home, in her little unit, that's growing one family unit. And if I can grow that family unit and positively change them, that family unit's positiveness that they throw out there is a leading change that others in that community would love to follow. And then we're building from one family, we're building that community becoming an empowered leading community. That leading community becomes a leading society. And eventually that society becomes a leading nation. But it starts with one. It all starts within. So when we want to change into being the best in the leaders that we need to be, let us rather focus on us as the leader, not us versus them, us as the leader of them, with them. That's who we lead. We all one. We need to look at it from that point of view. And these are my key aspects. This is from all of my experiences thus far. I hope that all of this has resonated with somebody and it makes that positive difference with everyone. I'd like to just say that, remember that the topic, yes, is the leading change through uncertainty, but there's a little bit more. There's leading change in uncertainty. That's important. There's leading change through uncertainty. That's important. But there's also you as a leader being the change in uncertainty. That's crucial. Because remember, we have got to be the change that we want to see. We got to be the change that you want to feel. You have to be the change that others would like to grace from. So, in order for us to be the best of who we need to be to lead, then we need to understand who we are first in our leadership roles. So when we have to be leading through uncertainty, if we have to be leading change through uncertainty, let's understand who we are when we have to do the actual lead. I thank you very much for this opportunity and I look forward to later as well. Thank you very much to everyone.
Wow, that's amazing. Your materials, madam. Thank you so much for your valuable time and great materials tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after her speech, please giving thanks on the basis of the speech and materials tonight. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I remind you guys, don't forget to share, tag, and comment this page. So, for the second speaker or the last speaker is Madam Dr. Tanya Simons from United States. Dr. Tanya Simons has carried the visions of healing for the nations in her heart for more than 20 years. She helps train, equip, empower people in various nations. This vision was birthed through much pain after the loss of her first husband and wanting to make a difference through the love of God. compositions, and strategic impact amongst developing nations. Dr. Tanya Simons has been involved with multiple humanitarian relief projects, has a project throughout the world, some of those including Haiti, Ukraine, the USA, and Pakistan. Wow. Well, she is the founder of Healing for the Nations and a bringing forth of global visions with the help of global partners. Dr. Saf Baxi oversees the UK divisions and together major impacts are being made. She has been in healthcare as a registered nurse for more than 25 years as a professor of nursing, raising the next generations of leaders in the nursing field has been extremely important to her heart as well. During these times, it is imperative that we give back with patience and love for others. She also is the founder of Global Empowerment Firm, which empowers through online workshop, challenges, and educations. Well, today we invite Madam Dr. Tanya Simons from United States as the second speaker. Please give a warm welcome to Dr. Tanya. Hello, Madam.
Hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me today.
Yes, Madam. Time is yours. Materials. Time is yours.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So I want to give honor to this platform first and foremost, to this global platform of professionals. I appreciate you all. Thank you for attending. Thank you for taking out your time. I know that you're all very busy, CEOs, leaders for sure on this platform, educators, professionals from around the globe. Thank you for attending. We appreciate you very much. Thank you to Dr. Caroline Makaka as well for the invite. I appreciate you and I appreciate the opportunity very much. I want to send a big God bless you and shout out to my dear sister and friend, Ambassador Maureen, who was just speaking. She's a phenomenal woman. She is definitely an agent of change. And we're also collaborating for South Africa together. So I appreciate you, sister. Love you so much. It was absolutely excellent. So I learned a lot from what you had said, and I appreciate you. Let's dive right into it. So obviously I like a lot of statistics. So I'm going to be throwing out some stats to you during this webinar. So I would encourage you to get a piece of paper and a pen. I want to cover three main objectives during this webinar. Change is definitely how to lead in uncertain times. And so obviously we know that worldwide we've experienced a huge changes. These changes because of the world pandemic, COVID, over the past year and a half, 2 years, has affected every one of us. On a global platform, as well as our own families. Many people have lost loved ones. It has affected jobs. It has affected every sphere of our life. As some people have lost their homes due to financial struggles. So I want to really pull forth three main objectives within this webinar here. My first objective, you could write down, is how can change affect us? And my friend, Ambassador Maureen, she talked a little bit about that in regards to psychologically and emotionally, how that can affect us. I'm going to bring those pieces forward. Also, the second objective I want to conquer is strategies for change. I want to give you real strategies of self-care and how to take care of yourself as a leader. Because what I found in my own personal life too is that I'm running and I'm taking care of multiple people, whether you're a wife, whether you're a mother, whether you're a father, whether you're an entrepreneur, whatever you're doing. If you don't take care of your health, you're not going to be able to take care of your wealth. Let me say that again. If you don't take care of your health, you're not going to be able to take care of your wealth. You're not going to be able to be an agent of change. You're not going to be the leader that you're called to be. So I want to cover that. I want to give you some real clear strategies on how you can take care of yourself well during an atmosphere of change. So I want to speak to some mindsets today as well. I want to bring some paradigm shifts in the way that you're thinking and the way that maybe you're leading in an atmosphere of uncertain times. The third thing I want to bring forth is outcomes for healthy changes. I want to speak to that from a scientific clinical perspective. So that's the first three objectives that I want to cover. And it'll be direct, clear, and concise. So make sure you have a pen and paper right beside you. And here we go. Over the past 1.5 to 2 years, we've seen that there have been over 206 million cases of COVID worldwide. We also see that there have been, according to the data that I pulled up as early as this morning, there have been over 4.34 million deaths worldwide. We understand that this is an atmosphere and a time and a season of change. We understand that the things that we have been through have created absolutely uncertainty. We are survivors during this season and during this time. We understand that it has taken great strength. We have had to dig deep, and we have had to lead when we may not have felt like we have even the power to lead. But I want to say to you all today that you have the ability to lead effectively. Whatever platform and sphere of influence that you have that ability to lead. You are empowered to do what you are called to do. And yes, there is a process, like Ambassador Maureen was saying, there is a process of character development for every leader. There is a process that we have to go through. And so whether it be, and I want to reiterate this, is that being a leader doesn't mean perfection. It means progression. It means a day-to-day walking out of daily choices. Again, my name is Dr. Tanya Simmons. I'm from the USA. I am CEO of Healing for the Nations. We are a humanitarian relief organization, which we help impact different nations through development of water wells, food campaigns all over the world. I'm excited to announce that. Also, yes, I am the CEO of Global Empowerment Firm. We do webinars, we conference speak, we teach, train, equip people all over the world. What I see happening is that people need to understand that in these times of uncertainty, they sometimes, obviously, uncertainty, it gives the open window for fear. People have dealt with a lot of fear through this pandemic. They have had to overcome a lot of different situations, whether it be in their workplace, business, et cetera, et cetera. So I want to talk about leading through these uncertain times and how you can do that effectively psychologically. I want to break this down in spirit, soul, and body. I'm a holistic practitioner, so obviously I'm going to talk about these things and how this environment of uncertainty can affect your emotions, can affect your spirit, can affect your body, and how we can have those strategies that we need to implement as leaders. So I'm speaking to leaders, and like we said, everyone has the ability to lead. Your choices are important. Your choices make an impact. Your choices will make an impact for not only yourself and your family, but the generations to come after you. So that is why your choices are important. Your choices make a difference. Someone told me one time, big doors swing on little hinges. And so it is our choices from everyday, day-to-day life that make a difference. I don't know if you have all heard about the compound effect. The compound effect is every daily choice that one makes absolutely builds up. It's a compound effect. So the choice that you make to maybe get an extra hour of sleep or an extra couple of hours of rest through the night will overall affect your longevity of life, will affect your quality of life, will affect your overall health. The reason why I'm addressing these issues is because suicide has increased over the past 2 years, even within the healthcare medical field. Physicians have become burnt out. There has been burnout on the front lines of people taking care of COVID patients. So leaders overall need to know how to take care of themselves well. Let's go into this. How can change affect us? Psychologically, psychology of change typically is represented in leaders, hopefully by developing resiliency. This is something that we need to talk about, is the resiliency of leadership or of a leader. So you don't develop resiliency in your comfort zone. You develop resiliency in a place of discomfort or unfamiliarity. That's why you're a leader, is that you're the visionary. You're the one who is in the forefront. And don't be scared to be in the forefront. Like Ambassador Marine was saying, and I believe in that wholeheartedly, is servant leadership. You'll never see me in an organization or in my organization as the top and everyone else at the bottom. It's typically, I lead from the bottom up. And what that means is I want people stronger. I want them more equipped even than me. I want them, I surround myself with people that are stronger than myself. The reason being is because a leader knows and can tell their own weaknesses. They are in tune with who they are, and that becomes and develops over a process of time. And so I think we are all in the process of learning every day. There are times that we fail as well. And I think a good characteristic of a good leader is that one is able to be authentic, one is able to be transparent, and one is able to be who they are. And they're not afraid to just be who they are created to be. It is your difference that will make you stick out as a leader. It is not conformity. You know, we're all created different. We're all created not the same, and that's for a reason. Ambassador Marine has a specific purpose and assignment, and it is different than my assignment. Although we might be like-minded in ways, I'm created to be different, and that's okay. You need to be comfortable as a leader being different and being able to flow in your own lane, recognize your own lane, and stay in your own lane. You're able to collaborate with other leaders very well, and it's not about competition, it's about collaboration. So those things are very important. Resiliency of spirit. How do we create resiliency of spirit? One, it's shown that meditation is very, very important. We need to rejuvenate during these times, and being able to lead and lead effectively, we need to be able to meditate, take a quiet space, create that place of where our mind decompresses, our body decompresses, and we have that space where we can reflect as leaders, where we can think as leaders, where we can, look inside ourselves, be contemplative, see where we need to readjust, or where we need to realign or make other decisions where it may be more beneficial for our organization, for ourselves. We can only lead and give from who we are. Let me say that again. We can only lead and give from who we are. So So you need to understand, you need to know yourself, you need to learn yourself, and then you need to move from the core of who you are. Your core values play a big part and a big role of how you lead. And whether that be your top 3 values, everyone's are different. Integrity, it might be being courageous, it might be different areas of your value system, but you need to tap into those things. Also, when you take a quiet space and you start to meditate, you start to recognize and see your vulnerabilities. Let me say that again. Every person has vulnerabilities. Every leader has vulnerabilities, and that's okay. What bothers me is when leaders say that they don't have vulnerabilities. That is absolute lie. Every person on the face of this earth have vulnerabilities. If you're not in tune with your own vulnerabilities, you will be driven by your vulnerabilities. Let me say that again. If you do not, or if you're not in tune with your vulnerabilities, you will be driven by your vulnerabilities. They could be destructive. So you need to watch your vulnerabilities. You need to become aware. You need to walk in wisdom, and you need to be smart. You need to guard your vulnerabilities well. So especially during this time, meditation is very important, whatever that may look like for you, whether it be prayer, whether it be just creating a quiet space. Some people use yoga. I have no idea what that means for you, but as a leader, it's very important. The reason being is because it does affect our soul and body. How does meditation affect our soul and our mind, our brain? Neuroscience is my background. So, of course, I'm going to speak to this. As you create a safe place for yourself and as you meditate and get alone, things become very clear. So it decreases anxiety. We know that already. It decreases chronic pain. The way that it does that is because it decreases the inflammatory responses, cytokines, which are responsible for inflammation. As soon as that you relax your mind, you relax your body, it releases endorphins, dopamine, serotonin. Those are good feeling hormones. Obviously, laughter creates the same thing. These things are important for overall health. If you want to be a good leader, you need to take care of your body well. In these areas of change, these times of change, anxiety is on a rise. Obviously I can speak to anxiety. Mental health is a big issue worldwide currently. So we need to take these things very seriously. Because why? Because we need to take care of ourselves well. If we don't, we're looking at years cut off of our life, decreased quality of life, et cetera, et cetera. So let me get back into this. It increases self-awareness. It lengthens your attention span. Clinical studies have shown that when you get in a quiet space, you start to focus. It increases your attention span, which increases your overall productivity as a leader, whether that be in whatever sphere you're called to. That increases your intention. It may even decrease dementia or your probability of getting dementia-related issues. We see that. It also improves sleep. We understand that during these times, sleep is very important for a leader. I deal with leaders every day. The reason being, and I see that people run. They help everyone else, and then they forget about taking care of themselves. So in these areas of change, in these times of leading through change, I'm going to reiterate, you must take care of yourself well. You have to. Mental health is vital to our success. We all know that. We know that exercise plays a big part in helping us lead well. I can talk to you through a scientific point of view and neuroscience. It creates neuroplasticity within our brain. Obviously, it helps neurogenesis. It creates new neurons every day for us. When even it sends new signals to our muscles, to our other areas of our body. It increases blood flow within circulation, within our heart. It increases our lung expansion. All of these things. So I also want to speak to, obviously, we've seen within the pandemic and these areas of uncertainty of everyone's life worldwide. We are all on the same, we're all on the same ship. We're all on the same, plane. Over 4.3 billion, this is billion, estimated number of plastic face masks have been used worldwide. That's according to the worldwide during the pandemic, according to a 2020 environmental science and technology study. We also see that 2.2 billion pairs of plastic gloves have been used. So obviously that's affecting our environment. Ambassador Marine was talking about climate, and global warming and things of that nature. We also need to recognize how we take care of ourselves, how we take care of our environment, how we take care of our own personal space. It will affect others. Let me go back to saying the way that we operate on a day-to-day basis, our routine, the way we do things, our choices do make a difference. They are very, very important. They're very impactful, and we need to understand that as leaders. So I talked a little bit about sleep and rest. Now, let me talk about the connection here with rest and our overall health as leaders and how we can lead effectively through this time of uncertainty. I believe that according to clinical studies, it shows that 2 times there's a likelihood that seniors, those people who are over 65 or 60, who slept 5 hours or less, per night, will develop some sort of disease process, specifically dementia, compared with those peers who sleep 7 to 8 hours per night, according to a Brigham Women's study. So that means your quality of sleep matters as a leader. So these things I'm speaking, and these things are important because you need to know how to take care of yourself during these times. This is life-changing. This will affect your quality of production. This will affect your quality of care for the world, yourself, your concern for others, your impact, your difference that you make. This is very, very pivotal for leaders and overall everyone, to be honest. So 4.5% of more dementia-linked proteins are found in the brains of participants who suffered from sleep apnea compared with those who slept soundly, according to a 2019 Mayo Clinic study. What that means is people who have sleep apnea or who didn't get adequate sleep, obviously that affects them for the long run. So we need to see that 12% of patients decrease in memory-related brain activity just from the lack of sleep. So you need to be aware of that, when the mornings that you wake up as a leader or as a person in general, you wake up and you have things that you need to do and you feel the brain fog and you feel like you're confused. Well, my question to you is you need to get checked for sleep apnea, or maybe, you're not sleeping very well. Anxiety tends to keep people up. Meditation is important. Sleep is important to your soul, to your spirit, and to your body. You need to take care of yourself well. So I'm going to give you, I told you I would give you a couple of strategies for change. Here's what I'm going to do. We're going to list these, and these are 10 strategies. Make sure you have your pen and paper near you and you're writing these down. Number 1, you want to acknowledge the things that are changing, and it's okay that they are changing. Like Ambassador Marine said, I love the way she said that, was that we're all changing. Our very cells, on a cellular level, we are all changing every day. Our cells are changing. Our bodies are changing. Even the very air we're breathing, changing. So you need to be aware that your emotions change, your feelings change. Everything in you, internally and externally, is changing. That's how it rolls. And so you need to have an acceptance that things are changing, and that's okay. It's okay, things are changing. Acceptance will get you a long, long way. So that's the number 1 strategy. Accept that things are changing Acknowledge that things are changing. Number 2, so you want to make sure you have a routine, regular schedule. I hope you guys are writing these things down. In the morning, it's very important to have a routine schedule. Steve Jobs, he did this. Every successful CEO understands that when you can minimize the decision-making of the day, you can actually increase productivity through that day. What I mean by that is Steve Jobs, I was listening to multiple interviews he had, and he was saying that the day before he would pick out the things that he would wear, or he would, decrease his decisions for the next day. He would make those decisions, lay them out, and then that way his brain wouldn't be cluttered with all of these top decisions he needed to make, or these little decisions that he needed to make for the rest of the day. It would increase his productivity. So I am going to encourage you all, as leaders, as CEOs, as entrepreneurs, if you don't do this, you need to do this. This is another strategy. You need to make sure that you have a regular routine schedule. Our brain loves routine. Our brain loves that. It's okay to be spontaneous. It's okay to break out of the norm. It's okay not to think outside the box. Most CEOs and entrepreneurs and leaders are out of the box thinkers, and that's great. What I'm saying to you is that we love routine, consistency, even our algorithm for our body, our sleep algorithm. We all have a circadian rhythm that we flow and we go by. And so our bodies are attuned to certain rhythms and patterns throughout the day. So we need to acknowledge that as leaders. We need to understand that, and we need to tap into who we are personally and how productive we can be throughout these different times of the days. So we do that by creating a regular routine. Number 3, change obviously will cause stress. Stress will, sometimes there's good stress and there's negative stress. Negative stress, obviously, that can pull on our immune system, and it can wreak havoc within our internal system as humans. So we need to watch that. Okay, we need to watch that and how our bodies and how we are thinking in regards to the stress that we are experiencing. So when we think of stress, we need to be careful. Change will cause stress, because sometimes, obviously, like I've already said, it's fear of the unknown or fear of change, and people have to overcome that. They need to have strategies in order to do that. Sometimes it may require us as leaders to stretch, beyond what we are comfortable of doing. So those are things that we need to look for as well. Understand that any change will cause stress. So obviously the number 4th strategy that I want to bring forth is eating healthy. As leaders, how can we be effective if we are eating a bunch of, junk food and things that are not good for our bodies? I like to take care of the overall person. And so when I take care of patients and when I see different patients, I like to look at them holistically. I take care of them spiritually, I take care of them physically, and I take care of them emotionally. And so when I come in contact with the patient, I look at them from all those dynamics: spiritually, emotionally, and physically, mind, soul, and body. Okay. And so I want to encourage you to make sure you're eating healthy for the longevity of your future as leaders. Through these areas of change, through these situations of change, this is how we're called to be the example. Let me say that again. As leaders, we're called to be the example. So, you can only give from what you have and from who you are. So I want to make sure that I drive that point home, that we lead by example. Okay. Does it mean, again, that we're perfect? We're all in a progression, a journey of learning and validating and walking through our leadership journey, but we are all on the same journey. We are all in the same global world together. it's a must, and it's imperative that we come together in unity in order to make a difference, in order to make an impact. We need each other. We need connectivity. We understand that through these times of change, and who knows what we will experience, through this next coming year. I'm praying that it will be good, but there are times when life is not good. There are times when we feel great adversity, and it's in those times that you lean in and not out of. Let me say that again. As leaders, you lean into adversity, you embrace it so that it will build inner fortitude and strength that you have never experienced before. I look at adversity as building yourself inwardly, the character development inwardly. And it's sometimes the choices that we make, in order to do right, it is those choices, it's the hard decisions that we have to make. So again, you need to eat as healthy as possible during this time. It helps your immune system. I just want to share this little golden nugget. If you're not on vitamin D, you need to make sure you're on vitamin D. Your therapeutic levels need to be above 80. You need to check your blood if at all possible. Most people are deficient in vitamin D, which increases their chances, obviously, of being open to different disease processes. So you need to make sure that you're checking those vitamin D levels. That's just an extra little nugget. Number 5, exercise. So I want to drive home about exercise as well. During this time, we've seen where, brick and mortar businesses have pivoted to digital spaces. We understand that as entrepreneurs, as CEOs, as leaders, that we've had to make those changes in order to thrive during this pandemic. We've had to think outside of the box. We've had to create and be innovative, and we've had to mind shift and think different ways. So I want to speak to some of the ways how exercise will help us as leaders, even through this season of change, in leading ourselves, number one, through these seasons of change, and leading others. Now, brain and mental health is very important. So obviously, exercise heightens our alertness, our perception on different levels. It reinforces movement, coordination, abilities. It enhances our attention span and concentration, like I've already said. It aids in learning and memory development. Okay, that's a whole nother aspect of how we can help ourselves as leaders and be more effective and impactful during the season of change. It protects our cognitive function and overall health of our brain in multiple ways. It decreases our chances of Alzheimer's and dementia. It keeps the brain young, which we all need. So it keeps our brain healthy and young. If you're not exercising at least 30 minutes a day, you need to get up and you need to do something. You need to move during these areas of especially this season. I think we're getting more and more back to the office spaces, but I think that, even as you're home doing webinars or whatever that you're doing, you need to make sure you're taking breaks throughout the day. It increases your alertness, your mental health. Overall, it increases your productivity. You need to make sure that obviously when you're doing this, it promotes exercising. It's a heart matter as well. It increases your cardiovascular. It promotes health of your blood vessels. Okay, increases blood circulation, protects against obviously chronic disease. We all know that. It lowers your blood pressure. Laughter does that as well. We all need that during these times. I think finding a good sense of humor is important as a leader. Sometimes we take ourselves too seriously, and we need to learn how to laugh and be joyful a lot more. It keeps us young, reduces heart disease risk. It makes our heart bigger and stronger. Of course, we all know that. I also want to speak to immune health right now. It gives us, because our immunity is so important during these times, I'm going to speak, yes, I'm speaking to knowing how to lead through change, uncertain times, but I'm also speaking to the leader themselves, the person, the holistic person. I think that during these times of COVID and obviously the Delta variant and multiple other diseases that are arising, I want to speak to immune health right now because I think it's very important. I want to make sure that you're getting these stats and these data from a scientific viewpoint. Exercise, obviously, it's an inflammation fix. I've already talked about that in different ways. It decreases chronic inflammation. It decreases your chances of type 2 diabetes, obviously decreases obesity. These things we need to watch out for. It heightens our defenses. And I want to bring this forward as well. This is a real good strategy for leaders leading in these uncertain times, knowing how to take care of themselves and how to take care of others well, which is vitally important, is when you exercise, when you take care of yourself, you're obviously leading a good example, but for your family, friends, the people that you're leading. But as a cancer fighter too, we see that according to the American College of Sports Medicine, we see that, and the American Cancer Society, we see that there was an expert review that exercise should be a prescription because we see that it could lower the risk. I want you to hear this very clearly. It could lower the risk of developing colon cancer, breast cancer, endometrial cancer, kidney cancer, bladder, esophageal, and stomach cancers. These things are all vitally important if we're going to continue to do what we need to do as leaders and be impactful during this season of change and knowing how to lead well. Number 6 is seek support during this time of change. You need to seek support as leaders. I see leaders that sometimes they think they need to be lead alone, and we're not created for that. Leaders are called to collaborate and not compete. We need each other during these times. So seek support. Number 7, write down, obviously listen to this, write down the positives that have come from change or from the season of change for you. Write down the positives, the opportunity for growth that's there. Write down the positives. Every day I do try to journal. Do I do it every day? No, I don't. I'm being very authentic, and that's okay. Just understand that we're all in a process. Okay, I'm not perfect. I'm in a progression, and I like to lead authentically, and I like to lead transparently. And so I've made mistakes, but it's okay. Learn from those mistakes, lean forward, and fall forward. So what I'm saying is, during these seasons of change, as a leader, you need to understand that it's an opportunity for growth. Okay. Number 8, be proactive. When you see that there are things for change that need to happen, you need to be proactive versus being reactive. Again, let me say that. You need to be proactive versus reactive. So I can give you an authentic many stories where I failed at this. I have learned through the process of, my own journey of, it doesn't serve me well to be reactive emotionally. And obviously that's linked to increasing your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is not being reactive, it's responding. And so being proactive, seeing that there might be potential for problems during a season of change or uncertainty, you need to understand and see and be a problem solver. Most leaders are problem solvers. You need to learn how to be big problem solvers. Think big. You need to go on a whole new dimension of your thinking. And during the season of change and uncertainty, we're pushed to think outside the box. We're pushed to be creative and be innovative and have new thought processes. We're pushed as leaders during this time of uncertainty to be creative and to think of different ways and different platforms and different things of how we could create and collaborate with other leaders internationally and nationally. And so I want to encourage those that are hearing under the sound of my voice not to be scared during this time of adversity and change, but to know that you have everything you need to be impactful, to be a leader of change, to lead effectively during this season and this time and this hour. That is what you're called to do. So take charge. Don't be scared. You're a leader on the forefront. Make a difference. Your decisions are impactful for change. Don't be afraid, but be aware. Let me say that again. Don't be afraid, but be aware. Okay, be proactive, working preventively. okay, during this time. Take charge. Number 9, you want to seek support during change. Again, it's okay to have a meltdown. And not many leaders like to talk about this authentically, but I will. I've been on global platforms where I've said, I'm not perfect. I am a work in progress. And that's okay. It's okay to acknowledge your weaknesses. It's okay to acknowledge your human side, like Ambassador Marine said. I agree with that. We're all human. It's not about perfection. Again, it's about progression. Okay, during these times, it's okay to vent. We all need a best friend. We all need someone that we can turn to. We all need that one person that we can lean on and that can lean on us. You need to seek a good support system. We all need that. It helps us as leaders. As thought thinkers, as forward thought leaders, we need good collaboration. Okay, so it's okay to feel what you're feeling. Understand that as a leader. I have seen many leaders and come in contact with global leaders that behind the scenes, in the forefront, they're absolutely dynamic, absolutely making a difference and a change in the world. I mean, on global platforms. But behind the scenes, when we were talking, and I would never, ever betray a confidence, so I will never do that. But behind the scenes, we were talking, and they felt very, very alone. In the place of leadership, sometimes it can feel very, very lonely. And so I want to encourage those that are in the place of leadership, whatever that may be, whatever sphere of influence that you're called to, make sure that you have a good support system. Okay, make sure you are brainstorming together. We're not called to do this alone. Okay. Number 10, back away sometimes from social media. During this time of change and as being leaders, back away from social media. Let me say it again. It's okay to back away. Again, it's okay to back away. And that obviously protects your psychological health, your mental health, your emotions. It protects you as a leader in ways. Not everyone's going to like you. Not everyone's going to support you, and not everyone's going to applaud you. And that's okay. Let me say it again. And that's absolutely okay. You're not called to have everyone like you. You're not called to make new friends all the time. You're called to lead. You're called to lead effectively. You're called to make a difference. You're called to find your place of assignment and purpose. And you're called to empower and to help other people. And so those who are called to you will go through with you. Let me say that again. Those who are called to you will go through you. You will empower the right people that you're called to empower. You'll speak into people's lives that you're called to speak into, but you're not called to everyone, and that's okay. And recognize that as a leader, even through these seasons of change. Okay? So it's okay to stand in a self-assured confidence of knowing who you are is very important during these seasons of change and these times where, you're leading. You are leading in the forefront, and that's very important to know who you are. Okay. All right. I just want to speak to that again about backing away from social media is because sometimes you need a place to recharge, to rejuvenate, again, you're going to meditate daily. You're going to do that on a day-to-day basis as a leader, but you need to do that and understand the importance of rejuvenation for your mind. Your mind is like a computer, obviously. And when we have so many things, so many stimuluses coming at us, we're aware that our brain is a computer. And so it gets so full sometimes. And we start mulling and thinking on different things, what I need to do, what about this, what about that, what about this, that it can decrease our productivity and our leadership abilities. So we need to take that time away. We need to recharge, rejuvenate, and take care of ourselves. And this is what I see very, very important during these seasons of change, is that we have to take care of ourselves as leaders so that we can be effective in taking care of others very well and leading effectively and making sure we're making the impacts we need to make. I know that I'm not called to do 50 million things, but I know what I'm called to do. I stay in my lane and I do it well with excellence. That is increasing your productivity through these areas of uncertainty and change. Number 11, I want to just drive home very clearly this last strategy here is give yourself grace as a leader during these times of uncertainty. Obviously, I've talked about the global pandemic a lot through this webinar, and knowing how to take care of yourself well as a leader and others too. I've given you strategies about how to do that, multiple strategies here. But give yourself grace. Give yourself a break, okay? I used to like that commercial, give yourself a break, but give yourself a break. Go easy on yourself. Give yourself grace. We're not perfect, and it's okay. It's okay we're not perfect. It's okay. Maybe you didn't get to do whatever it is on your task list for that day. And, there's tomorrow. It's okay. So learn from your mistakes, press forward, know that it's a new day, know that it's a new season, even in this hour. We're not living in the same world that we were living in 3 years ago. It's different. So our strategies have to be different in how we lead, how we develop our personal growth. I've said this over and over through this webinar, you can only give who you are. So your level let me speak to integrity for a minute as a leader. Your level of integrity behind the scenes will dictate your public platform in front of millions. Again, let me speak to that. Your level of integrity and your choices behind the scenes will dictate your platform globally, or your public platform. And what I mean by that is, you might be able to go a little bit with charisma, but you won't be able to hold your platform for very long without character. And let me speak to that again. That's character development. As a leader, it's very, very important that we monitor our choices. We monitor our whys and what we're doing, our intentions, and of really what we're doing and why we're doing things. Am I doing things just to be seen, or am I doing things to really make an impact and add value to people's lives and see true success? So that's the inner work that a leader needs to do behind the scenes. I could tell that Ambassador Maureen, she's a lovely, lovely, graceful woman. And she's done some major work behind the scenes where no one's been looking. And so that's why she can speak as eloquently and fluently and have an amazing platform like she does, because she's trusted. So I think it's important that people see the level of integrity that you're flowing in and through. And that happens with your day-to-day choices behind the scenes where no one is looking. That's where true leadership is developed. Let me speak to that again. That's where true leadership is developed and maintained publicly. So I want to encourage everyone in that regard. Laughing obviously increases dopamine, serotonin, endorphins, exercise as well. We all know that. It decreases cortisol. Obviously, for women, that could be an issue going through menopause, and men as well. Obviously, cortisol, it increases your fat around your abdomen, which increases your heart disease chances. So I want to encourage everyone under the sound of my voice, knowing how important it is to take care of yourself as a leader through these areas and seasons of change. I'm just about to wrap it up, but I want to read this very quickly in regards to, there was a large meta-analysis done here in the US recently of over 3,500 people. And they concluded that meditation or prayer, however you want to talk about it, was associated with decreased pain. Obviously, we talked a little bit about that, decreased inflammation and whatnot. So all of these things I've covered a lot during this webinar. And let me see here. I've covered a lot during this webinar. The things that I've covered have been this. If you have your pen and paper, change leading through in uncertain times. The three objectives I've covered have been how change can affect us negatively, obviously, and positively. Strategies for change, I've covered about 11 of those for you. I've given you clear, concrete strategies to know how to navigate through these uncertain times as a leader. And obviously, the third thing, outcomes for healthy change. I've covered all of those objectives, and hopefully you have gleaned some golden gems and from this webinar, and it will change your life. I'm speaking to your life today. I'm not just speaking to your leadership. I'm speaking to your overall health as a leader and leading effectively through these seasons of change. Now, let me talk. I just have a couple of quotes here that I want to bring home. The soul has been said, according to Arnold in 1900, I say to thee, weapons reach not the life. Flame burns it not, waters cannot overwhelm it, nor dry winds wither it. It's unentered, unassailed, unharmed, untouched, immortal, all arriving, stable, sure, invincible. By word and thought, uncompassed, ever all itself. This is the soul declared. We have to take care of our soul. We have to take care of our spirit. We have to take care of our body and overall health as leaders during this time and seasons of change. Socrates says, now do you think one can acquire any particular knowledge of the nature of the soul without knowing the nature of the whole man? Indeed. So it is that we have to take care of our whole man as leaders and as people leading in these times of definite change, where we have seen the pandemic occurring, where we have experienced change in multiple areas of our life. So I want to encourage you that you have everything you need to make positive changes and to be that impactful leader you're called to be. God bless you all. Thank you so much for your time and your attention. Thank you so much. God bless.
Wow, thank you so much for your valuable time, madam. And you have done two presentations tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, after her speech, please Thanksgiving on the basis of her speech and presentations. That's amazing. Well, I remind you again, guys. Please don't forget to share, tag, comment, and support this page. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for the next sessions, we open quiz competitions. Then I will guide you to read some quiz and I will give you information who is the winner later. So let's okay, ladies and gentlemen, for these sessions, we open quiz competitions. Well, please join at slido.com and this code IGP quiz. Please join, guys. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I inform you that we are open quiz competitions now. Please join at slido.com and discode or password IGP quiz. Okay, here join the quiz. Participants until 159, 162. And if you yet to join here, please join at slido.com and password or code IGP quiz. And if you still confused how to join, you can see that comment box on a Facebook or YouTube. Let's join, guys. Okay, well, here the questions is the uncertainty. A is usually due to errors in equipment or methodology. B is caused by fluctuations from one measurement to the next. C describes the limits of an observation. And D attempt to show. And that's true is okay. True is C describes the limits of an observation. Who is the winner, guys? Congratulations, Arham. Next questions. Uncertainty. A. Ambiguity. B. Allusions. C. Apple. Or D. Ambitious. Okay, and that true is ambiguity. Congratulations, Arham. Well, the next questions. The fullness or uncertainty of meaning or intentions. A. PS. B. Satire. C. Verbal irony. Or D. Ambiguity. Take your answer, guys. A, B, C, or D. And oh, that true is D. Ambiguity. Who is the winner here? Congratulations, Maria. Well, okay. The next questions. Risk is defined as the uncertainty that a loss may occur. A, true, or B, false? Oh, there is two answer here. True or false, guys? And that's true is true. Who is the winner? Congratulations, Emily. Next questions. With which kind of certainty is the uncertainty reduction theory most concerned? A. Cognitive, B. Situational, C. Behavioral, or D. Communicative? Take your answer, guys. Let's join here. And that's true is cognitive. Who is the winner? Congratulations, Emily. Well, next questions. Okay, the next questions. Direct attempts to reduce uncertainty have no influence on relational turbulence. A. True. B. False. True or false, guys? That's true is false. And who is winner, everyone? Congratulations, Evie. Okay, well, our drive to reduce uncertainty increases if they conform to societal expectations. A. True or B. False? True or false? Only two answer. Take it, guys. Okay, so here true is false. False. Well, who is the winner? Congratulations, Ify. Okay, next questions. This country with the greatest uncertainty avoidance will buy false life paint or for safety here. So, A, Germany, B, Greece, C, Belgium, or D, Switzerland. Okay, three is Greece. Well, who is the winner here? Congratulations, Caris. Next questions. Okay, next questions. What word describes the feeling or uncertainty or curiosity during the climax of a story? A. Foreshadow. B. Suspense. D. C. Melancholy. A, B, or C? Okay, true is B, suspense. Who is the winner? Let's join everyone. Congratulations, Ify. Okay, next questions. So quickly. Well, our drive to reduce uncertainty is increased if we know we will see the person again. A, true, or B, false? Take it your answer, everyone. If you still confused, you can join slido.com here. So, what is true is true. Who is winner? Congratulations, Ify. Congratulations, quiz competitions winners for top 10, everyone, and thank you so much for joining these quiz competitions. Well done. Okay, well, now the next sessions we will open questions and answer. Please type your name, country, and your questions for the first or second questions, and then the speakers will answer it. Let's join, guys. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for now, we open questions and answer, and don't forget, please type your name, country, and your questions for the first or second questions. Well, two speakers will answer it. Okay, here for the first questions from Rachel to Dr. Tanya. In your experience, how do you recover from mistakes? Can you offer any advice? Time is yours, madam.
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay? I think you can. So thank you so much for that lovely question. I really appreciate that. How can you recover from your mistake? First of all, I have made many mistakes in my leadership journey, and you know, I think it's important to acknowledge that. I think it's important to know that you're not perfect, that you do need other people. We all have blind spots, so to speak. We need that accountability. We need strong people around us. Because what happens is, and I'm just going to put it out there on the table, is that you see leaders in certain situations and they are making poor judgment calls, or they're making poor decision making, and sometimes pride can get in there. Sometimes you're driven by ego. I mean, there's all other things that can occur, and so we need those people to hold us accountable. I find it very detrimental to leaders or people in places of high authority or position, that I find it a red flag if they don't like people around them to hold them accountable. For me, that's a red flag. And so when I deal with people, I'm open to feedback. I'm open to, acknowledging, yes, I see that. Yes, and you need to develop a strong support system of trusted, credible, integral individuals around you that can speak into your life. Not everyone is called to speak into your life, but people who are called to you, you'll recognize those people. And then those are the people in wisdom that you have around you that you can receive from, and you can grow from, and you can learn from. I like to say it like this in mentorship, is that you always have a mentor who's stronger than you. B, you're always pouring into someone else, right? So I'm a conduit. I'm a conduit of coming, people are trusted individuals, couple of strong individuals around me to pour into me, to say, hey, Tanya. And this is developed over time. These relationships are trusted, they're tried, they're true. They have authority based on their history to speak into my life. I don't let everyone speak into my life. Everyone is not qualified to speak into my life. And so the bottom line is, I think strong people around you, accountability, recognizing that everyone has weaknesses, everyone has vulnerabilities, being able to guard those vulnerabilities, knowing that here's a strategy, knowing that, let's just say, if you get grumpy or irritable in the morning or whatever it may be, and you know that you need a couple of extra hours of sleep at night for, your day, then take that liberty, guard your weaknesses, be proactive, understand yourself, and look at, okay, wait a minute, stop, take some time to be reflective. This is what I did. Why did I do this? Why did I make these choices that I made? Did I have triggers? Did something drive me to this? What could I have done differently? So that plays in with emotional intelligence as well. So these are things that I think we all should stop, be reflective, and look at our own selves, right? And get to know who we are, our own selves, our own heart, and move forward and fail forward, so to speak, and lean forward, and just simply not do that again. Just simply not do it again, and give yourself grace and move forward with integrity. That's it. I hope that answered her question.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Madam. Well, for the next questions here, for Madam Tania again, what's the best strategy to minimize or reduce uncertainty? Time is yours, Madam.
To reduce uncertainty, well, I think that's a loaded question, and I'm going to answer it. But if Ambassador Maureen has anything to add, feel free, sister, because I just love you. I appreciate you, and I honor you today. And so, how to reduce or minimize uncertainty, best strategy. I think in regards to acknowledging that, there is uncertainty, first of all, acknowledge it, acknowledge the situation, recognize it. But I think that I was in a situation a couple of years ago, and for some reason this pops into my head, and it was very scary. It was a very scary situation. The decision that I needed to make could affect multiple people on different levels. I wasn't quite sure what to do. So you know what I did? I went to someone better, stronger, more informed than me, and I sat down with them, and I made an educated decision. And so education plays a part of decreasing uncertainty. If it's an uncertain situation you're walking into, you need to equip yourself as best as you can with education about the situation. You need to know the ins, the outs, if it's legal issues, if it's health issues, whatever it is. My thought and the best strategy that I can come up with right now is to make sure you make an educated, well-rounded decision, and you have maybe two experts speak into that situation, and then make your decision and then move forward in it. But I think education plays a huge decision, because what is an uncertain situation? It means you don't know a lot about that situation. It means that you need to look at all aspects of the situation, pros and cons, look at it objectively, look at it from a holistic point of view sometimes. And you need to equip yourself with knowledge. If a person doesn't have knowledge, then they can't make an educated, well-rounded decision. I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you so much for great clarifications, madam. Next question here from Rommel, the speaker one or two. If there is no leadership in the organizations, how they can be able to change in the directions of their organizations? Well, here I invite Madam Ambassador uh, Ambassador Maharin. Time is yours.
Thank you very much for the question. I just want to go
Yes,
back
madam.
twofold before I answer this quickly. In terms of the question of mistakes, I just want to elaborate on one thing. Dr. Tanya, firstly, thank you. You're amazing. Phenomenal talk and absolutely amazing answers. But I just want to add to something about the mistake. And I want to enhance on two things. There's a difference between accountability and responsibility, especially if you are a leader. But if you are somebody who's making a mistake and you want to figure out, well, how do I get through it? How do I move on from it? The first thing, like Dr. Tanya said, is embrace it. But I want you to view that as not a mistake anymore. Perception is key to your growth. How you perceive your mistake will be essential for how you will actually grow from it. So when you make a mistake, the idea is to embrace that mistake, understand why it is the mistake that it is, and then identify what lesson do you take from the mistake. So how do I develop myself further? How do I grow myself so that that mistake never occurs again? What is my lesson from it? So that I just wanted to put that out there.
Mhm.
In terms of this question, if there is no leadership in an organization, then how are they able to change in the direction of the organization? I think the first key factor would be exactly what is the organization about? What is the vision of the organization? What is the mission statement of the organization? If you have to look at no leadership in an organization, then there's multiple issues regarding that. How do you have an organization without somebody who built this in? So you need to go back to the structure that developed this organization. You need to go back to ask yourself, why was this organization developed? What exactly is the vision of this organization, and how are we actually attaining that vision to be met? So multiple facets, multiple questions, but it needs answers. So if the leadership is not leading, then they need to be spoken to and they need to be addressed by it. There's obviously means and ways to do this. If it is legal, if it is labor related, if it is anything of the sort, there's always means and avenues. But if you are aware of you being in an organization that does not have the leadership with the cognizance value to actually take that organization forward, you need to take yourself into the leadership role and stand up for what you believing the organization should be standing for. I always say if you're working within an organization or you work for someone, remember you first work for yourself. Whatever job you're doing, whatever organization you're belonging to, go first to what is your purpose for being there. Because remember, first you lead you. You are in a space because that is your purpose, and you are there for a fulfillment of the purpose. If the leadership is lacking in an organization, is that affecting you actually attaining your goal? So you need to actually look at these different questions from the actual foundation, and also who is it that's supposed to be leading and why is there no leadership there? And then take cognizance from the fact that this is an organization with a goal. Every organization is built up with a particular goal in mind. What exactly is the vision of it? What exactly is the mission of it? And if it's lacking leadership, then you yourself take on the leadership role and ask these questions to get answers so that the vision gets met with people around you.
I think that's an excellent point. If I can add one thing, I just, as you were talking, this is a point that came up to me is that a leader doesn't necessarily need a title. And so I know, according to John Maxwell, who I've studied under, he talks about the 360-degree leader. And what that means is that sometimes leadership, you have to develop your own leadership. And if you feel like there is a lack of leadership, then you can lead exactly from where you are, and you can make an impact in your organization, and you can increase your influence in exactly that, being the 360-degree leader. A leader, a true leader, doesn't need a title. A title is just, the flow of the authority process in that, to release that leadership. But a leader can be someone who makes a tremendous impact. Leadership, it all boils down to influence as well. And so you can be a person of great influence and don't have a title, but still be a leader of where you're at as well. So I just want to throw that out too. You can make an impact and you can be a dynamic leader right where you're at. But it's hard if you don't have that strong leadership. I agree. And so, I agree with everything Ambassador said. So, yeah, it was good.
Okay, thank you so much for the great clarifications, madam. Well, the next question here from Bernadette to Dr. Tanya. In your opinion, how can you keep your passion burning? Any tips specially for teachers? Time is yours, madam.
Oh my goodness, you've got some time. I'm just joking. Yeah, so goodness. Well, first of all, my question would be, thank you for the question, Bernadette, but my thought is, I've had education in my background for almost 25 years, and there have been times when I didn't really feel like I wanted to teach, maybe that day or whatever. But in the back of my mind, I always knew that, you're making an impact. You're changing people's lives by imparting and giving knowledge. And that's very rewarding. And so my question to you would be go back to your why. Go back to why you first started teaching. Go back to why you're doing what you're doing in the first place right now. And so that's one thing that I can tell you is always put your why in the forefront of what you're doing, no matter what it is. Understanding the why of what you're doing will help your motivation, will help you keep your passion burning. I also think being creative will help that as well. Listening to other people in regards to, if they've had a moment, of lack of motivation. I would say, understanding why you're feeling that, and making some proactive changes, and being proactive in your teaching style. Also, I believe in, looking at new programs, keeping up to date with the latest research, and being on the cutting edge of your teaching is important as well. So that means educating yourself with the right tools, and then being able to give that out to others effectively. I think that makes it fun, and it makes it exciting, and it helps your passion to keep burning. That's right. Creativity, learning yourself in new ways, and keeping it fun, keeping it light, and remembering your why, I think helps develop and keep your passion for sure.
Okay, thank you so much, madam. Well, the next questions from Mom Banits, Philippines. First of all, thank you very much. Here is my questions from Dr. Tanya again. How can you empower emotions of an individual, especially during this pandemic? Time is yours, madam.
Yeah, so empowering others' emotions. Emotions are really fickle. We all have experienced ups and downs, and we all have gone through different emotions through this pandemic. I know Ambassador Marine, we've talked about different things, and the things that are going in South Africa and the US and globally. Ambassador Marine is she's just a force in South Africa, doing good for others, and so I think that what I find really effective, and this might be very simple, and that's okay, is giving people the opportunity to just speak and just be heard. and just listening empathetically to people makes a big difference. Sometimes people don't want you to solve their problems. They just want to be heard during everything that they're going through. They want connectivity. They want to connect heart to heart to
Yeah.
another human. And I know that sounds really simplistic, y'all. I know it does. And I just said y'all. I know it sounds really simplistic, right? But
Yes,
people.
it's simple, but it's humble, and it's absolutely true. And the one thing that you can also add to that, because it's crucial, is also this art of gratitude. So
Yeah.
even in the midst of the pandemic and everything adverse and negative that's happening around you, if you can take a 2 minute every day and just say, well, what am I still grateful for?
That's it.
That'll just help
That's
to
it.
keep your spirit going and empower you within yourself. Because
That's
if I
it.
can just if I can relate just one day last year, and this was when I went out to do a feeding program, and we went to go and fill hot meals into a location. And at that time, we were at maximum lockdown, so you had to get a permit to even be outside your home. And obviously, with what I do, I was granted the permit, etc. So we go into this location and feeding, and obviously, people know now you got to wear this mask and you got to be social distancing, or you can't be helped, etc. And I go in
Yeah.
with my team of volunteers, and we have the food there, and they're all busy, we're feeding. And I always it's like a vision that's just it stays in my mind, because we're all feeding everybody. And I mean, we've got people in the crowd saying to them, please make sure you social distancing, please keep your mask on, or you can't have anything. And because you feed, you actually don't have the vision of the person you're giving the meal to. You don't look, because it's social distancing also.
Mm.
And so I took to actually just looking, because eventually I was so used to the container of filling up the food coming from this angle, like within my waist, and
Mhm.
suddenly it was big like that. So that just automatically drew my eye to who I was giving the meal to, and it was a little girl. And I looked at her, and she didn't have a mask on. And I say to this girl, I say, sweetie, you need to put your mask on. And her reply was just gobsmacked me. She said, I don't have one. So obviously, with what we do, you just go and then you're going to get one, because you have spares all over the place. So you go and you get her one and you give it to her in her hand, and you tell her, you got to put it on. And she says, I don't know how. So what for me was
Right.
supposed to be me going with my team to do this leading feeding scheme became suddenly an awareness campaign. And then you start to look up. And then I look up at this crowd of people waiting for food, realize, oh my gosh, majority don't even have the mask on, and they're not social distancing. And when you inquire a little bit more, you actually find out they don't understand this concept. And then that just made me so grateful for the fact that we had the means to know certain things, as opposed to people in this location who had no idea about these things. So, in every bit that you are doing, even when you are facing at the worst, and that was for me very difficult to face, because these were people who really had not much, and you try and give off your
Yes.
best to give them to give them the positiveness.
Yes.
Just for me, the fact you look at someone's adversity and you look at yours, and it's like just no comparison. You're just so grateful for even your difficulty that you're facing. So for me, the art of the gratitude, even in your face of adversity, is for me what will heal you. And Tanya, I love, for me, healing others makes me heal. So maybe find what you could do for other people, and that will make you feel better too.
That's right. I love that. I love that. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. No, no, no. It's true, because let's get to the heart of the matter, and the matter of is the heart. The heart of the
Yeah.
matter is the matter of the heart. And so people want to connect with others on that heart to heart level. They want to be understood. We all have the same needs down inside, whether you're black, yellow, red, white. That's
Yep.
why all nations should come together. That's why we all need to walk in humility and unity with one another. And we all need to come from a place of love, of true love. So pouring into someone who needs empowerment in their emotions, you need to listen, be empathetic, inspire them to greater things, hopefully for their future. And how you do that is you impart hope. You increase awareness of a better tomorrow. You help them in any way
Yes.
you can, with helping hands. Love is always compassion in action. You can't love someone without truly being compassionate, and which equals, right, action. And that's exactly what you were saying, Ambassador Maureen. And that's what we do with Healing for the Nations as well. We make a difference through love and action. And so that's how you pour into people. You give back to people. And sometimes it's not a matter of doing, but just being with someone, because people just need someone. We need each other. And you don't have to do anything big. You don't have to fix everyone's problem, excuse me. You just have to listen. That's why you have, they need that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam and Doctor. Well, for the next questions from Sin to Speaker One here, how do we deal with those teachers with uncertainties that are unfortunately facing dilemma to students with uncertainties?
Mm.
Time is yours, Madam.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much for the question. I think this goes back to, and I'm going to use it as an example, last year here, for example, in South Africa, and I think this was throughout the world. Everybody, teacher, child, student, every single person was put on lockdown, and you were just told, stop now, we're not moving any further, there's no work, there's no going to school, and nothing like that. And then all of a sudden, everything gets lifted, and the kids are told, go back to school, teachers are told, go back to school. But guess what? If you take a child that started her schooling or his schooling career at the beginning of 2020, this is a first grader I'm talking about. So just picture this. This is a child who's looking forward to school, who's got 12 years ahead of them and has this vision of, when I go to school, I'm going to have this playground and I'm going to share lunch with my best friend and I'm going to love the teacher. I'm going to hug the teachers and I'm going to be this lovely sibling. And in the first month or so of school, yeah, it was exactly what that child visioned it to be. It became a reality. And then hit the pandemic, for example. And then everything was just, no, not going to happen anymore. So lockdown hit, and then you go back to school. Here's the same little child who's going back into the school. That same teacher that used to hug this child is now not able to do that. This child who used to play with a child in the playground is not able to play. There's a square, that's your square. There's this square, this is another child's square. This child can't share lunch with anybody. He's not able to do anything. There's nothing that's norm anymore.
That's
So
right.
a teacher is supposed to be going to a school to teach a specific subject and do what is normally supposed to just happen for a teacher. All of a sudden, when this teacher's gone back to school, what happens to this teacher? In one day, this teacher has to be the teacher, which is an educator. The teacher has to become a doctor, has to become a nurse, has to be a therapist, has to
That's
be a
right.
counselor, and also has to be this police person who makes sure the rules get dealt with. So can you imagine the mindset that has gone crazily, hectically wrong between what I would love to do as my passion as a teacher, the child who used to love to go to school, and all of a sudden the mindset is like, oh my God, do I have to do all of this again? And there's this child who's suddenly not looking going because I can't even engage with my friends. So what is this? Remember, for children, going to school is an outlet. For teachers, going to school is a passion. And when the mindset is all messed up in that way, suddenly everything becomes questionable. But I'm saying when the children are feeling uncertain, they're looking to you as the teacher to be the leader, which is what we were discussing today. You, in your leadership role, have got to also embrace that you are not all perfect. And I honestly found that when I was dealing with kids, trying to get them through their counseling sessions, etc., through last year, the kids that actually went through it better were the kids who had teachers who embraced that emotion with them. So when they discuss certain things and the kids go through uncertain times, when the teacher also, spoke to the kids and said, I feel the same. I'm actually also a little bit scared, but you know what? I think we can still get through this if we just be positive together. Kids resonated with that, and that got them through. As opposed to a teacher being there and putting on a front, which is a lie, to say, I'm fine, so you just have to be fine. Rather embrace it all together. And collectively, lots of them grew through the process because we lost many teachers to this virus. We lost children to the virus. I had kids that I was counseling who had friends that had died from the virus. And the problem that they had, when you speak to these children who lost their friends, or they went to school and one of their favorite teachers was gone and they suddenly passed on because of the virus, these children know that when somebody dies, they die because of something, okay? So they died because they were in an accident, or they die because they a specific disease, or they were sick. Suddenly, people were passed on and dying because of a virus. For these kids, it doesn't make sense because it's not visual. And for them, it was nonsensical. Like, what do you mean? What is this virus that is taking everybody's life? So I had one child, for example, who was suicidal based on that, because it was his favorite teacher who passed on in the first week of going back. And 3 weeks later, his best friend passed on in school from the same thing. And he was like, so what is this thing? I don't like it anymore. What's next? I'd rather just go myself. It affects your mental capabilities of even
Yes.
reasoning.
Mhm.
But the idea is when you actually find that you belong in each of our uncertainties, each of our fears are actually very similar, we gain strength from each other and knowing that, and we build in that resilience. So we don't have to face it all alone. You don't have to be in your nutsh, in your shell, and you be all, I got to go through this by myself. No. So when you have kids that are facing uncertainty, and you yourself as the educator or leader is also facing the same uncertainty, embrace that uncertainty together, because that is where your actual goal for resilience starts. I'm not sure if Dr. Tanya would like to add anything to that, but this is where I'm from.
No, I absolutely, you're phenomenal. I think it's absolutely true what you said. There was one thing that I wanted to point out, just in addition to enhance what you were saying, if I can, and it's this. There's a new generation of leaders arising. And what I mean by that is these young people that are coming up now, they have more technology, more information. They are training in different levels than we ever have been exposed to in our generation. And so what I'm saying to you is this, is that they know when people are faking, and they know when people aren't being real. And I've got a daughter. She's in business. She's 11 years old. She's amazing, and she'll call me out on different things. What I'm saying to you is this: is that being authentic, and what you were saying, Ambassador Marine, about just saying, "Listen, I'm feeling the same way, but we are going to get through this together." What does that do? It brings relatability. It brings authenticity. It makes them feel like, oh, wow, you're feeling the same way, and you're the leader, you're the teacher. So what I'm feeling, it's validating their emotions as well. And so that is very healthy. But also, to supply them a way forward as well. And sometimes we may not know that way forward, just being honest, but being with them, like she was saying, just being with them and listening to them goes a long way when you're teaching students. They want to be heard.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam. Well, any else questions here? Okay, for the next questions from Manolita, especially for Madam Kasimji, it means that Madam Mehrin. The questions here: the importance of a leader's ability to navigate change, uncertainty, and ambiguity was made clear during COVID-19 pandemic. As a leader of your community, what did you do to become more comfortable with uncertainty, ambiguity, and change? How did you lead your people? So time is yours, madam.
Thank you very much for the question. I
Yes.
have to admit that there's one thing, if anybody knows about me, is that I come from within. So I speak from the heart and I speak from my own experiences. So thank you for the question again. When COVID hit, remember, for everyone, I think in the world, it was this unknown. And what emotion that brought up for everybody was this fear of an unknown. What initially happened was everybody started to just try to take in every bit of information from every source throughout the days, throughout the night, because what happens when there's uncertainty? Uncertainty brings about this need for information, like, how do I get through this? So in the initial stages, every one of us was searching for answers. And we weren't getting any because everyone in the world was searching for the same answer. But while that was happening, there was obviously this pandemic of the virus. But initially, I noticed there were many other pandemics within the virus which were being neglected. And that's when I decided to do some of the things that I started doing. And by that, I mean, and it's still happening, mind you, in South Africa, and I think in many parts of the world. There's not just one pandemic. We have the pandemic of the virus. Yes,
That's
it's very
right.
rife. But we have the pandemic of poverty, we have the pandemic of hunger, and we have the pandemic of mental health issues. And all of these
Yes.
three started to take a back burner simply because the pandemic of the virus became the most important for us to contend with, because that was the fear of the unknown. That was the unknown that was causing so much of issues going around everywhere. So when this happened within my community, yes, it did bring about a lot of uncertainty. It brought about a lot of ambiguity. There were too many unknowns. There were too many gaps in our little puzzle. But like I said earlier when I was giving my talk, one of the key things for me was to embrace this. Embrace even the fact that I did not have these answers. I myself felt, what now? How do we help? What do I
Mhm.
do? I don't have the answers for people. And there's uncertainty even within me. And there was obviously blockages with as much as I wanted to do. I had to not be able to do it because of laws and restrictions all of a sudden. So the heightened uncertainty of the people and the communities around me was also the uncertainty and ambiguities I was feeling within me. My key role and my key factor, of course, for me was, Marine, there's only so much you can do, but you need to equip yourself first. And one of my key points I mentioned earlier is, if you are a leader, you have to be true to you. First, lead you. Understand things for you. Grow yourself first with the knowledge that you need. Because when you're going to try to make somebody else's life different, you have to make sure that what you are doing works. And I say the only person I would test anything on is myself. So with that as my base, I actually tried to find out as much as I could, but authentically. Because remember, if I had to tune into every radio program and every TV channel, I was taking in stuff that wasn't even belonging to my country. And it was all negative, and I didn't need to do that. So my number one key for me was to isolate, stop. Okay, take in what you need to take in to actually adapt and use the information to make a difference. So I started to look only at stats that was necessary for me. I started to get information about the areas that needed to be dealt with, because, and then I did my applications, of course, for my permits to be able to go out, pulled in whoever I needed to as volunteers. I pulled in sponsors and donors and whoever else needed to come on board. And we put in plans in place, because then the other three pandemics needed to still be contended with. We couldn't lose those people. We couldn't lose kids to mental health issues, kids who weren't understanding. We
That's right.
couldn't lose people who just needed food. People were losing jobs. We needed to give people hope. And the only way to do that was to be hopeful myself.
That's
So
right.
again, for me as a leader, you have to lead by example. And when you go out to lead, first thing you have to do is embrace and know that the uncertainty that they're feeling is the same you are feeling. Be on par with them so they resonate with you. They feel as one with you. And then together, communities build with you. And then you teach them through the whole thing, how do you self-sustain? Because Marine's not going to be there all the time. An organization doesn't have to be there all the time. But if I give you a little bit and equip you, you can actually sustain you within your community, and we just keep building in that way. I hope that answers the question a little bit.
Wow, thank you so much, Madam, for your clarifications. Well, for the next questions from Nelia J. Alingasa from Philippines to our speakers. The questions here: how can we deal with uncertainties in leadership? So the first, I invite Madam Mehrin. Time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for this question. How do
Yes,
we deal
Madam.
with uncertainties in leadership? There's actually two different folds, I would say, to this question. One is the uncertainties in the leadership, as in a leader who's not doing what is needed by the people who they need to lead. So it's uncertainty as to whether that person is the correct leader for the position. The second fold of this question could be that there is no leadership, or there's uncertainty in the people about the leadership. So I'm going to try and tackle both in one, and make you go back to, for example, when I spoke earlier, I broke the entire topic of today down and I unpacked it. So I unpacked, for example, what does uncertainty mean and what is leadership in itself. And if we do that, if you unpack it, you know that uncertainty is actually just a not knowing, an unknown, or this concept of where I'm not sure of what's going to come and how to do something because I want a specific outcome. When you look at leadership, leadership in itself is, of course, you taking the reign to run for a specific outcome to be achieved. If you marry the both, and you understand this is what the actual end result has to be, this is what my leadership goal is. I want to achieve this for the people that I am leading, and this is the uncertainty that we are facing. Acknowledge again, acknowledge that this is the uncertainty you are all facing. Remember, your leadership and you are facing the same uncertainty. And if you both acknowledge that and see each other as that you are on par with each other, you're facing and acknowledging the same thing. One is working towards actually pulling together streams to pull some sort of a strategic process that gets the vision met. You, in your uncertainty, are able to collect a little bit for yourself and build who you are in the space of adversity or uncertainty that you are going through. So, when you have uncertainty in leadership and it is someone that you are not happy with, remember, you are able to question. It is your human right to be able to question. It is your human right to have what is best for you. But remember, it's also your human right for you to be the best version of you. So if something is not good for you and it's in your surround, or it's something that's out there, your leader is not performing the way you would like to, you do have a right to question. There is no such thing as we don't have dictation and dictatorial methods anymore. It's all up to you to be able to ask a question. And if you're not getting that, I think in specific areas and organizations, there's protocols you can follow to make sure your question does get the answer it's required because you have a right to the answer. So, how to deal with uncertainties in leadership? It's up to you to be your leader first for you because this is your journey, what you are experiencing. If your leadership is not working for you, then you have a right to also ask, why is that not working? And then also question, do I want this as my leadership or do I want to move my avenue elsewhere? So you need to
Mhm.
actually view the whole thing with a little bit of introspection, take a time out, find out why, who, what are your different alternatives, what other leaderships can you go and get from? What are you looking for in leadership? Why is this leadership specifically creating uncertainty within you? So you need to ask these questions of yourself and be honest with yourself when you're looking for answers, because it's only when you're honest with yourself that you can find the answers you're looking for. When you are aware of these things honestly, then can you find change that you need for the betterment of you.
Okay, thank you so much for your clarifications, madam. Well, for now, time is over. Well, I give your informations about this announcement. From 1st August, we have a free international webinar daily. Time fixed 6 p.m. UTC. Next. Okay, well, double bonus year from September, we will arrange free international webinars on weekends, Sunday morning sessions here, 9 and 9:13 a.m. BST from 1st September, 3 hours morning sessions. Well, here this information is again. The first certificate code must from July 12, 2021, which available on video session certifications free. Without certificate code, no one is eligible for certificates. And then video will be available always on our Facebook page, website, and YouTube channel. And then, who wants to learn, anyone can join us live sessions or later or recorded sessions. Next, we don't have any restrictions for learning. Our only focus, learn anything you want, but learning is must. And the last, the beautiful things about learning is nobody can take it away from you. From BBB King. Next. Okay, for more announcement again, for the first time, IGP will launch a virtual award ceremony program as we are different from any other organizations. So in this case, also the same. Then from 7/8 2021, you will get class material in every webinar descriptions box on our website, YouTube program link, webinar YouTube program link, Institute Global Professionals, and then webinar materials here, speaker 1, speaker 2, and speaker 3. Okay, are you interested in 1-year international diploma program certificate for free? Let's join here. Happy announcement, everyone! Well, here, which is an offer from IGP on the occasions of the anniversary of IGP. This is for our all participants for international diploma certificate. Every go of the has some rules, like you have to must learn 250 hours. That's why we decided to collect our certificates from you, which can ensure that you are capable for international diploma certificate. We know that our all programs now 3 hours, but for a judgment, we will calculate our program in average 2 hours, 130 130 certificates you have to submit. Well, 260 hours. That means you are auto applicable for IGP International Diploma certificates. So that is important for you all, guys. Next. Okay, here, all the certificates links are now available on our Facebook pin post or top post. Okay, happy announcement, everyone. On the occasions of IGP anniversary, all of you can take this opportunity. You don't need to do extra anything. Follow a simple instructions. What you have to do? Here, collect all the certificates from our website from 15 August 2020 to 10 August 2021. Submit all the certificates into given link with your full name, professions, designations, and country. And last date of submissions 20 August 2021. If you're interested, okay, here submission link, and then we already received 1,000 19,000 message in less 4 days. We will reply everyone after 15 August. Please note all of informations, guys. If you interested. Okay, on the occasions of IGP anniversary, want something return from you, make promise yourself. Never stop learning, encourage others to learn. By the help of Almighty God, if you feel happy, please don't stop yourself to help others. Okay. Well, whatever you want to learn, no issues, but make sure your availability for learning. You can learn at any time, at any place, but never stop learning because life never stop teaching. If you have opportunity to encourage others to learn, do it and make yourself proud. If you have enough food, enough money, enough freedom, enough time, that means you are lucky. Now make a culture to do something for those who are needy. You don't need to do daily basis, don't need to do alone. Just do something which you want, but do must. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here IGP anniversary 15 August, we started our first program on one program on 15 August 2020. Yes, 2020. Here, National Morning Day and Independence Day. Are you looking for an opportunity to work with IGP internationally? Next. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. If you feel confident to work with IGP as International Organizing Committee Board member, here, Institute of Global Professionals coming soon. If you want to support us, please click www.eduigp.com and please click support us and check our webinars. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here information about certifications process. Step 1. 13 August, today's program name, Leading Change Through Uncertainty. Okay, 13 August, that is certification link. Please note everyone. Well, certifications link now available in a comment box and a pinned comment. And then a certifications link will be available always in this program, post, Facebook page, Facebook group, and YouTube descriptions. Please note that is certification link, guys. Okay, next, certifications process here. You can claim your certificate and in two ways. Direct link from comment box, pinned comments, and post descriptions. Or if you are not able to click this link, please directly browse www.eduigp.com. For all information together, find today's program, then the process are same. That is important, guys. Okay, for the step 3, browse www.eduigp.com or given link you will redirect in this page of our website. Here, YouTube link, you can searching Leading Change Through Uncertainty by Institute Global Professionals. Well, if you are new, create your account. If you have an account, then log in directly. After that, find the seminar title and get enrolled. Okay, instructions here. Certificate code required. Today's program name, Leading Change Through Uncertainty, code IGP 1230. Without code, no one is eligible for certificates. Don't forget to type today's program name, everyone. Okay, next. With Code, click Get Your Certificate. Certificate code require IGP 1230 and get your certificate. Here, our free international webinar certificate is downloadable in PDF file. So, check your device file manager. Sometimes it looks uncompleted, which is for your mobile screen size. In PDF file, everything is okay. If nothing found in your file manager, please check your browser setting or update your browser or try with another browser or try it from a laptop or desktop. Okay, here your certificate is ready and then verified certificate. There is example about your certificate letter. Please note all of informations, guys. Okay, here you can join our all live programs from Facebook page, Facebook group, or YouTube channel or website. If anyone missed any program due to some unavoidable issues, still you can attend previous webinar with verified certificate. Dear participants, if any problem raised to claim your certificate or any other issues, please don't be hesitate to contact us. If now our website isn't working well, don't be panic. its issue or of traffic cause of makes user. With Cody, you can claim your certificate tomorrow also. Our core team members are always ready in comment sections to support you to find solutions. That is information from Janet S. Cablo, Calvin Lina Tok, Joel Deno, Caris Kabiros, and Carolyn Yamaguchi. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, for our next webinar on 14 August 2021, the topic is social emotional learning from two speakers, uh, Mr. Given Gomez Pineda and Madam Lerma Tuazan Guzman. Please join everyone. Well, upcoming webinar on 15 August 2021. The topic is transformational leadership from three speakers. Madam Ambassador Dr. Lenora, and then Mr. Harpal Singh, and last, Madam Firesh from South Africa. Okay, for upcoming webinar on 16 August 2021, the topic is ethics in teaching from two speakers, namely Madam M.A. Robert and Madam Dr. Wilma. They are from Philippines. Let's join everyone and please note. Okay, well, upcoming webinar on 17 August 2021. The topic is leading for success. Wow, that is interesting topic here. From three speakers, namely Dr. Shamila, and then Madam Jaya Sajanani, and the last Madam Dela. Please join everyone. Okay, for upcoming webinar on 18 August 2021, the topic is facts and features of ancient mathematical techniques. For two speakers, namely Dr. Vijay from Oman and Dr. Manish from India. That is educational webinar, everyone. Okay, next upcoming webinar on 19 August 2021. The topic is community engagement and empowerment. For three speakers, Madam Bella, and then Madam Kalpana, and the last Madam Irwina. Please note and join, guys. Okay, for upcoming webinar on 20 August 2021, the topic is concepts and components of quantitative research. Wow, interested. Well, there are two speakers here, namely Mr. Jonathan and Mr. Mark. Please note and join, guys. Okay, well, upcoming webinar, the topic here, achieving success through innovations for three speakers, namely Madam Love, wow, always love, Madam Love, and then Mr. Kobus and Madam Christina. Please join everyone. That is interesting topic. Okay, well, upcoming webinar, this topic, on 22 August 2021, sorry, this topic, communications and leadership in the workplace. For two speakers here, they are Madam Hajah and Madam Rochelle. Okay, for upcoming webinar on 23 August 2021, the topic is leadership in education for three speakers, namely Dr. Babalwa, and then Madam Dr. Ruby, and the last Madam Martina. For upcoming webinar on 24 August 2021 here, the topic is interventions, strategies for distance learning for three speakers, namely Mr. Frederick, and then Madam Christina, and the last Mr. Alexander. Let's join, guys. Upcoming webinar on 25 August 2021. This topic here, social emotional teaching and learning management for three speakers as well, namely Madam Rania, Mr. Muhammad Zubir, and Mr. Marina. Oh, Madam Marina, sorry. Okay, well, upcoming webinar on 26 August 2021, this topic, self-empowerment for young professionals. Wow, interesting topic here. For two speakers, namely Madam Joy Faith and Madam Arnie. Please join everyone. Okay, for upcoming webinar on 27 August 2021, this topic, thriving for success, four speakers here. The first, Madam Dr. Ella, and then Madam Dr. Rita, and then Madam Ambassador Adobe, sorry, and the last, Madam Vanessa. Wow, nice. Let's join everyone. Don't forget. Okay, upcoming webinar on 28 August 2021. The topic is significant and dynamic trends in education for two speakers, namely Madam Teresita and Mr. Mark Anthony. Let's join everyone. Okay, upcoming webinar on 29 August 2021. The topic is Principle of Leading Change. For speaker, they are Madam Busisiwi, and then Mr. Nick Hazelum, and then Madam Alia, and the last Madam Ekta. Please join everyone. Upcoming webinar on 30 August 2021. The topic is meeting the challenges of the new normal in school education. Wow, nice, interesting. Okay, here for the two speakers, namely Madam Anna and then Madam Maida. Please join everyone. Okay, well, upcoming webinar on 31 August 2021. The topic is Young Leadership Changing the World. For speakers here, for the first, Dr. Daksha, and then Madam Emily, and then Mr. Joshua Kelly, and the last Madam Anna. Let's join everyone. Okay, upcoming webinar on 1 September 2021. The topic is redefining educations for two speakers, namely Miss Fimi Jolie and the last Miss Jaswinder Sethi. Let's join everyone. Upcoming webinar on 2 September 2021. The topic is the importance of developing the skills of young people for three speakers, namely Dr. Shauli Mukherjee, uh, Mr. Dr. Pia Ratna Maharjin, and the last, Madam Gloria Mohale. Let's join everyone. Okay, upcoming webinar on 3 September 2021. The topic is importance of co-curricular activities in teaching and learning process for three speakers, namely Mr. Muhammad Zubir, and then Madam Jamindu, and then Madam Dr. R. Jamuna. Please join everyone. Okay, for upcoming webinar on 4 September 2021, the topic is the importance of education in society. For three speakers, namely Dr. Elizabeth, and then Dr. Aisha, and the last Madam Nikki. Let's join everyone. Okay, for upcoming webinar on 5 September 2021, the topic is educators' time and performance management. They are two speakers here, namely Mr. Sajiman and Madam Anfi. Okay, for upcoming webinar on 5 September 2021 here, the topic is the technology of the future in education, advantages and challenges for three speakers, namely Madam Olivera, Mr. Dr. Javed Khan, and the late Madam Nada. Okay, well, upcoming webinar on 6 September 2021. The topic is social empowerment through education and entrepreneurship for three speakers, namely Miss Dr. Cortisha, and then Madam Advocate Dr. Nupur, and the last Madam Manju. Okay, for upcoming webinar on 7 September 2021, the topic is ICT uses in everywhere. There are oh Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that is instructions to get certificate. Please note certificate code required. Today's program name, Leading Change Through Uncertainty. This code IGP 1230. Without code, no one is eligible for certificates. That is important for you guys. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think enough. Thank you so much for your attentions. And please leave a review or a comment, support, share on our page if you learn something or we help you a little bit. And please share the information with another friends. Thank you so much, everyone. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Stay safe and see you next time.